Welcome to some truly amazing tech in this video, and don't forget to stay till the end on this one because I've got a very interesting surprise announcement. With that being said, let's get right into it. First up, we have an education kit, something I don't normally feature, but this one right here mixes virtual reality and augmented reality to create a really immersive experience. So each one of these sets, it could be space, it could be dinosaurs, it could be an animal zoo, all come with a giant deck of cards. And each of these cards works with the application to create a 360-degree model of whatever it's trying to show. So in the case of these dinosaurs, there are some incredibly detailed ones. You could take your phone and look around them in 360 degrees. You can go really up close and see all the little details on their skin. Truly amazing. On top of that, it actually comes with a VR headset, not the best one I've ever tried, but nonetheless it's very functional, which you stick your phone in and you can see the whole thing in VR. Also within the app, it has a few other different experiences. For example, within the dinosaur one, you can actually just look around with your VR headset and experience what it's like to be in front of a triceratops. Next up, and on a completely different note, we have the Leather Pocket by company Casetify. This is a genuine leather, really nice feeling, high quality and well presented little pouch that you can stick permanently onto the back of your smartphone. And if you're one of those people who uses a wallet to only carry perhaps 2 or 3 cards that they use regularly, you could completely replace that with this. Say for example you're going to a festival and you want to carry all your valuables in one place, you can carry them all in your smartphone. Pretty clever idea, and it also adds a bit of protection in its own right. Once you put this on the back of your phone, you won't be able to have a traditional case as well, but actually if you drop it at least on the rear of the smartphone, you're somewhat protected. Next up we have a rather mischievous little gadget, which to be honest when I tried it, I was completely blown away that it works. This device lets you hear through walls, and it's as simple as plugging in your earphones and pushing it against a wall until the metal pin on one end has become triggered. And using this little device, you can hear what's happening on the other side of that wall at about 5 times the volume that you would otherwise be able to. The only thing I would say is that the included earphones don't really do the device justice, so chuck them out the window and replace them with a decent pair which you probably already own. Then we've got Unbreakable, which is exactly that. It's a cable that connects your smartphone to either charge or transfer data, but it's more or less indestructible. It's made of a material that is apparently 40% stronger than that used in a military bulletproof vest. On top of that, all these stress points, for example the neck of the cable, have been completely reinforced. You just won't have any problems with durability. In fact, the company is so confident that you won't, they will actually give you a lifetime warranty as standard. It also supports all the fastest standards out there right now in terms of charging and data transfer, and you can get the cable in all the different versions for your respective phone. So then we've got the OVC H15, and what's so special about these is essentially they are trying to imitate something along the lines of the Bose Quiet Comfort. They're trying to offer active noise cancellation at a much more budget price point, and to some extent it's a success. The active noise cancellation isn't that great, it doesn't cancel that much noise, but because the passive, i.e. just putting them in your ears in the first place, cancels a lot, it kind of makes up for it. In terms of sound, they've got lots of bass and a fair bit of detail for the price. The cable is good, it doesn't get tangled too much, and it's nice and threaded, but unfortunately you do have this giant bulky chamber which is responsible for the active noise cancelling. So the cable has quite a bit of weight, and therefore a fair bit of cable noise too. What is quite nice to see, and what makes quite a big difference, is the bass switch. As soon as you flick that on, these things go into overdrive. Next up, we've got a smartphone button. Now this one here is by the company Olixar, but there are a few other brands that make exactly the same thing. So once you've plugged that into your headphone jack, providing you have one, download the Click application, and then you can map the presses on this button to whatever actions you want. So you can make a single tap open certain application, a double tap make a certain gesture, and then if you hold it down, you could make it, for example, turn your phone off. You could even make it open the camera app or click a shutter for you. The only problem I would say is that with the really large phones, it can be a bit of a struggle to reach the socket. Now the next one is a precision stylus. This one here is known as the Truglide, and what's behind it is a fiber tip. So instead of the standard really cheap ones that have these little rubber tips, this one is a little bit more complicated, and that essentially allows it to be a bit more careful with the pressure you exert. Whilst it is technically intended for tablets, it does work pretty well if you have a larger phone. If you've been yearning for a stylus, it's not as good as the S Pen for example on the Samsung, but if you don't have one of those, it's a pretty good alternative. It's accurate enough so you can easily type with it, you could write written messages, or you can use the drawing apps you wanted to with a bit more ease than a finger. As for this big announcement, welcome to Cooking with Mr. Who's the Boss, a brand new show on the channel. I'm joking, I'm a terrible chef, but what I did want to show you guys was the Diablo, because whilst it's not really tech at all, it is a fantastic snack maker and is a pretty cool gadget for your kitchen. So what you do is slice up some bread, ideally white bread that will taste better, and then butter it on both the inside and the outside. So this isn't for the people on a diet, but it will taste good, trust me. You then open up the Diablo and place one bread on each of the sides. And as this is a toasted sandwich, start putting your fillings in, preferably involving cheese, because when that melts, there's pretty much nothing better. And you then hover it over the flame until you start to hear some sizzling, and you're pretty much good to go. You can then empty it, it's even got the name engraved on it. It actually comes up clearer if you use plain white bread. Nonetheless, it's a pretty cool thing to have. And the outside is literally crisp to the touch. It feels like it's been cooked in an oven, even though it actually took you literally a minute to do. And you crack it open, and with any luck, you'll have the nice melted cheese effect and whatever other toppings you've got piping hot. So, I'm sorry for making you guys hungry, but it actually is a pretty cool little gadget. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I will see you guys in the next one.